not expecting any trouble.
Oh, no. We are definitely not the trouble police.
No.
If there was any trouble expected, it wouldn't be us here.
The main question for us is, what do we do? And how do we keep going? And how do we keep being a beacon of hope?
Why I'm here today to ask and put pressure on UK media, TV and press to stop censoring voices of Palestinians especially, and also artists and then people in cultural spaces giving voices to people in Palestine, to put an end to the genocide and the breaking of international law by Israel.
I have message, my friends. I have message to those who propagate the mass expulsion of our people in Gaza, in Jenin, in Tul Karim, in Al Khalil, in Nablus, in Al Quds. I have a message to all those who think Palestinians will leave their homes and homeland. We ain't going anywhere. On our land, in our homes, in Gaza, in Jerusalem, in Jenin, in Al Khalil, in Tul Karim. Gaza is not for sale. Gaza will be rebuilt and united with the West Bank. And if some of our people in the refugee camps in Gaza or Jenin or anywhere will leave anywhere, we will leave back to our homes inside the 48 areas. We will go back to our land. We will go back to Jaffa and Haifa. But my friends, today there is no place for complicity. Impose full arms embargo now. Now. Impose full sanctions now. Not just on individual settlers, but on the entire regime of the illegal colonial settlers and settlements, and on the state that harbors these settlements. And enforce accountability. War criminals have no place in the UN or in London. Their place is behind bars, in prison. And recognize the state of Palestine now. No! This isn't a gift or a favor. This is an inalienable right of the Palestinian people, and do it now. And finally, my friends, I have a message to you, all of you. I know it's hard. I know it's difficult. I know sometimes you feel alone. You feel the heat, the pressure, the defamation, the attacks, the arrests. But I tell you, not only you are on the right side of history, you are making history. You are making history. And I tell you, I see the finish line. I see the finish line. I see liberation. I see freedom. I see dignity. I see justice.
May I first start by asking you all to give it up to 29-year-old Daniel Day, who scaled Big Ben this last week and is currently charged by the police. We stand in solidarity with him, and we stand in solidarity with everyone who's received a summons from the police over their protests demanding rights, demanding humanity, demanding dignity for the people of Palestine. My dear brothers and sisters, today, and in the few minutes I have, I'd like to thank each and every one of you for attending today. This movement is a historical movement. This movement will be in chapters of books, volumes in library shelves in decades to come. 23 years ago, this coalition came together up the road in Trafalgar Square. And year after year, whether it be Afghanistan, whether it be Iraq, whether it be Islamophobia, whether it be anti-fascism, whether it be about our freedoms, and whether it be about the genocide in Gaza, every single time we have turned out in our hundreds of thousands, and every single time we have been proven to be right.
It's extremely important that at this pivotal moment we don't allow ourselves to drift away from this movement that we've built up, because now the pressure will be on for this to dissipate. Now that there is a ceasefire, the pressure will be on for people to drift away. But we must stick together and we must keep this movement going, because we still have a job to do, and that is to see the establishment of a Palestinian state with freedom for the Palestinian people, and we must keep going until we see that done.
Students around the world are continuing to rise up. They are winning and winning and winning. They are forcing their universities to cut ties with the genocidal state. And for this reason, they are facing unprecedented levels of oppression. It is our job to stand with them. So today, we say loud and clear, we stand with Mahmoud Khalil, the Columbia student who is facing deportation for standing for dignity over dehumanization. We stand with the Essex 6, with the Leicester 11, and with the Birmingham 2, and all students who are facing targeting simply because they decided that genocide is not up for debate. And let's be clear, this is not about safety, this is about fear. They fear the student movement because they are uncompromising. They fear the student movement because they cannot be silenced. And they fear this resistance because it exposes their complicity.
It is an honour to extend with you the solidarity of the people of Ireland, and we meet here today with a clear message for those in power: end the genocide, end Israeli apartheid. For 16 months the world has watched Israel's crimes broadcast on televisions and on our phones, a genocide recorded in real time by its victims. Over recent months we have heard the extremely alarming remarks of President Trump. We are clear: Gaza cannot be simply erased. Gaza will not be erased. In response to President Trump's horrific remarks, my party, Sinn Féin, has taken the momentous decision not to attend the White House this St. Patrick's Day. It is an action that demonstrates our unwavering solidarity with the people of Palestine. Because St. Patrick's Day is our day, our national day, our holiday. It is a day that we celebrate the world over. It is a day that we defend and celebrate our national values. Because while we may be a small nation, we are a nation that knows struggle. We have experienced the trauma of colonialism, imperialism, and partition. We are still to realise our full national independence and liberation, and that is why we stand with Palestine.
Since we're right outside Downing Street, I've got a very simple message to the UK government. Number one, immediately, in compliance with international law, stop all arms supplies to Israel now. Secondly, stop the use of the Royal Air Force bases in Cyprus, which are a staging point for the delivery of weapons, for the overflying of Gaza, for the surveillance of the Palestinian people. You have no business doing that. It is not the purpose of those bases. Stop the use of those bases to aid the Israeli war machine that has destroyed the lives of so many Palestinians. And the third thing I'd say to our political leaders, the ministers in the government, is think about what history will say of the role of this government since coming into office last July. They're the opportunity to be a voice for peace, a voice for disarmament, a voice in support of the brutally oppressed and dispossessed Palestinian people. And what have they done? Continued the arms supplies to Israel, continued the diplomatic support for Israel. And you know what the historical verdict is going to be? You were on the wrong side of history. You are on the wrong side of history. History will judge very brutally those that stood aside and watched the Palestinian people's lives being destroyed. This has brought about, this whole conflict has brought about a flowering of art, a flowering of culture, and above all, a flowering of Palestinian culture. Because what wars do is try and demonize the other side, is try and dehumanize them and pretend the Palestinian people are not real people. They're just people who are victims. They're not. They're a proud people with a proud history, with art, with music, with culture, with hope, with determination and unbelievable fortitude and skills. And I've been at many events all around the country where many people have written the most beautiful poetry about Palestine from the heart, people who've been converted into standing up for the Palestinian people. And I want to read one, if I may, today. It's by Bryn Jones, who lives in Bath, and it's called "And Samson Wept, Eyeless in Gaza." Eyeless in Gaza was Samson there. Now eyeless in Gaza, many more again. Eyeless and homeless, limbless and lifeless in Gaza today. No matter the suffering, the innocent must pay. Electronic eyes watch but cannot tell. Others have eyes but cannot see the hell. Camera eyes tell but do not speak, unable to act on the cries of the weak. Blind to suffering day after day, with guilty eyes the world looks away. Homes brought down, bodies underground, parents mourn, children just born, helpless, homeless, eyeless in Gaza once more. How strange, how blind such rules of war. An eye for an eye, one tooth for one tooth, yet many thousand deaths are not enough. There, eyeless in Gaza, where Samson once wept. What a powerful message from Bryn, as there are so many other powerful messages.
So we know we have to keep fighting. It's not the time to be cowed by the government. We need to keep coming back out in numbers. We need to challenge when the state clamps down, when they put conditions and bans and restrictions on all of our protests. We need to challenge it. We need to show support, for example, for the Filton 18 who are languishing in prison without even a conviction yet. So we need to show support for the Filton 18. We need to show support for the PAL actioners. We need to show support for IJAN, who've been banned from Swiss Cottage. We need to show support for all of these smaller protest movements, whether they be in student encampments such as the Essex 6 and the SOAS 2 and the SOAS camp in particular. All of these smaller protest movements that are being repressed in different ways by their institutions. We need to show support for all of them and stand together, and that's how we beat the repression. Because divided, we can't defeat anything. I think we have to be united and have to stand together and to show that we're not going to go anywhere. We are not going anywhere until Palestine is free.